What's going on, everybody? It's your boy K-Rym, and what's going on right now? First of all, I just want to say I'm not really happy about the fact that my Dance Coffin Guys YouTube video has been blocked in some countries. That was kind of a good video, man. I'm not too happy about that. Anyways, let's move on from that. So let me just say one thing. I've had my fair share of stories about food. When I was a kid, I used to be fat, but then when I became a teenager and I went through puberty, I was skinny as heck. Like literally on my Medicare card, you could literally see like my throat was so skinny that you saw my esophagus. That was crazy. But then I was like, nah, I don't like being skinny, and then I got thick again. So that's what it is. Anyways, food is the best thing out here. But when it comes to challenges with food, that's when things get a bit interesting. And this brings us to this video. We're about to react to a video entitled The Absolute Worst Challenging on Man vs. Food. I never watched that show, but I've heard about it and it seemed interesting. And I came across this video when I was on my Facebook account, and I thought it'd be cool, great to react it with you guys. So if you guys want to watch the original video, the link will be in the description down below. If you're new to my channel, I would like to welcome you to my environment. Anyways, without any further ado, let's just watch this video. Let's see what we're getting ourselves into. Let's see what he's getting himself into, because that's just crazy. This video is brought to you by Mashed.
Some challenges on Man vs. Food were better than others, and some were downright painful to watch. It's time to revisit a few of the most crushing defeats and painful victories.
How? No, wait, hold up. How do you cook a thick burger like that? A burger like that, that's hard to, especially the beef patty, must be hard to cook. That burger has to be about medium rare or medium. We never know.
That Adam Richman faced while he hosted the show. Scarfing down 12 wings in just 10 minutes seems doable. In theory, you should be able to just shove them in your mouth and be done with it.
Yeah,
the problem is that these wings were coated with 6 ounces of dried habanero pepper, and out of the 9,000 people who have attempted the challenge, 80% failed. The good news is that Richman won, but the sheer pain that he was in during and after the challenge is enough to make a person think twice about ever eating a hot wing again.
Yo, can you imagine going to the bathroom after that? The poo-poo must be lava. No, like literally lava. That must burn your anus very badly. By the way, you guys should watch Hot Ones on YouTube. One of the best shows. It has the same kind of concept, but they're interviewing celebrities.
Eating the wings wasn't bad enough. Richman had to lick the thick sauce from his fingers or be disqualified.
What?
Hey, at least it couldn't get any worse, right? Wrong. Upon finishing the wings and licking his fingers clean, Richman had to sit in tongue-searing pain for 5 minutes before he could extinguish the fire with a glass of milk.
Boy, I thought he was gonna pass out.
We'd like to tell you that's where the pain ended, but even after the challenge was over, Richman was still pacing around behind the restaurant, waiting for the burn to subside.
Those last 5 minutes almost killed me. Breathing, just moving all those spices around, they're still in between my knuckles.
No free t-shirt is worth that sort of pain. Pancakes have been one of the most popular breakfast foods for ages, but they seem to feel like sandbags in your stomach. Richman and the Man vs. Food team traveled to Hawaii just to take on a stack of pancakes nearly as big as the Pacific Ocean. Sure, 3 pounds of pancakes and a pound of toppings looks delicious, but let's be realistic. Eating that many carbs doesn't seem humanly possible. According to Mac 24/7's chef, the challenge has less than a 1% success.
I'd be able to eat about a quarter or a third of the first pancake on top, and I think I'd be full already.
Rate.
Pray for me.
Unfortunately for Richman, he wasn't able to boost that success rate, and halfway through, he hit a syrupy wall.
Battle of Man versus Pancake. Today.
Look at the itis. Ah! Yo, you guys ever heard of the itis? Oh my gosh. Man's got some next level food coma, man. Look how high. Yo, he looks like he's high.
Sadly, food won.
Sadly, the fool has won. I'm not able to consume anymore. Shut up!
Should you find yourself at Mac 24/7, don't try to be the big kahuna by ordering this challenge. Even the most passionate of oyster fans would likely turn green at the idea of eating 180 of the slippery sea creatures. With so much good food in the city of New Orleans, sitting down to a plate of 15 dozen oysters seems like an exercise in stomach sickness. Nevertheless, that was the challenge that awaited Richmond, and it took its...
I know I'd be down to do this, but I know for a fact that this would result in me projectile vomiting. Maybe.
toll on him.
I feel very queasy.
150 people had
coma,
tried,
looking
and
like he was
28
on that
had
good,
succeeded when this episode premiered in 2009, and Richmond was able to pound through the oysters. In the end, he did indeed become a member of the 15 Dozen Club.
In the battle of man versus food, yet again, this one goes to man.
Proceed with caution if you fancy yourself stepping up to the plate at Acme Oyster House. It pretty much ruined oysters for Richmond. According to the Mirror, he later said, "After the oyster challenge, I think I may have had less than a dozen since. It just turned me off." Richmond was no stranger to burgers while filming Man vs. Food, but none of them could hold a French fry to the
that patty actually looks like cow doo-doo, straight from the butt.
behemoth he would go up against in Michigan. Known as the Absolutely Ridiculous Burger, it lived up to its name and clocked in at 190 pounds.
How do you even digest this burger? How does the... What?
With the title of the biggest burger ever made, there was simply no way Richmond would be able to defeat the Goliath on his own. The solution? Recruit a 40-person army of eaters to chew away at the beefy monster. Despite having hockey players, firefighters, a KISS tribute act, and more fearless volunteers back him up, you can't help but watch this challenge and doubt they'll finish it before even a single bite is taken. The fun of Man vs. Food is that there's a real possibility that the host will beat his food challenge. But even with 40 people chowing down, they'd each have to eat nearly 5 pounds of burger. The entire room and everyone watching seemed to be glad when the challenge and their meat sweats came to an end with more than 30 pounds of food left. And frankly, we can't blame them.
In the Battle of Man vs. Food, Detroit, Michigan, this round goes to food.
But not every food fight ends in despair. More often than not, Richmond emerges victorious against the ridiculous foods in front of him. Here are some of his greatest victories. Richmond has certainly faced down his share of spicy challengers over the years and been brought to his knees by as little as a single chicken wing. So how would he fare against a tuna roll? The Hellfire is anything but your ordinary sushi challenge, and participants must...
Shout out to my people who love spicy food. If you don't love spicy food, your taste buds are childish. Childish! Grow up. No, hey, no, that's it!
Past qualifier rounds of heat before they can even enter Kobe Sushi's 7th Ring of Fire. It may just be a tuna roll, but
Ring of Fire, shout out Johnny Cash.
But with layers of Thai chilies lined throughout, it's definitely not a guppy of a challenge. Fortunately, the challenge has no time limit, and Richmond was permitted to drink and eat whatever he wanted to offset the heat. Considering that Richmond looked like he was about to spontaneously combust, it's pretty remarkable that he advanced to and finished the 7th Ring of Hellfire. This challenge may not be one that the average sushi lover would be up for trying, but it's certainly thrilling to watch Richmond forge on to victory.
I am in much pain. I ate the spicy sushi. Pray for me, my friends.
Yo, this guy needs a really good personal trainer, man, because all that food he be eating, all that big portion of food he be eating, that calls for a lot of weight gain. So yo, if you get a personal trainer, you will be as buff as Brock Lesnar.
Burritos were a recurring nemesis for Richmond on Man vs. Food, and more than once ended with...
Yo, even a normal burrito just kills me, man. Gives me the... Oh my god, giving me a food coma. I couldn't imagine myself eating all that, man. If I was 9, maybe, because I had a bigger stomach.
Man. But considering the popularity of burritos, the show kept finding new places with overstuffed tortillas for Richmond to try and defeat.
I have 90 minutes to devour a 6-pound, 2-foot-long burrito.
The 4-pound gigante on its own would have been a worthy opponent for Richmond, but he also had to take down its tag team partners, a half-pound of mac and cheese and a half-pound of banana pudding.
I have never wanted to skip dessert so badly.
Nobody had ever entered the ring with Gigante and come out a winner. Simply conquering Gigante and winning his first burrito challenge would be enough to land Richmond major accolades. He took things a step further, however, and devoured half the burrito just 5 minutes into the hour-long challenge.
5 minutes?
It was losing those other burrito challenges.
Shut up!
But Richmond made sure not to, in his words, let painful history repeat itself. Watching this challenge, you can't help but root along with the Tennessee crowd as he becomes Gigante's only victor just 29 minutes in.
29 minutes? Yo, shout out to the guy, man. Yo, there's too many ads in this video.
Reindeer sausage and Alaskan crab legs weren't exactly common fare.
He literally has the biggest stomach out there, man.
Richmond's Man vs. Food travels, but the unique cuisine of this food challenge places it firmly in our best of category. In a Reddit Ask Me Anything session, Richmond even confessed that it was his favorite challenge in the entire series.
Wait a minute. You're serving me a meal on a welcome mat.
Oh, absolutely.
The 6-pound Alaskan feast includes wild salmon cakes, grilled veggies, and mashed potatoes, along with the crab legs and reindeer sausage. And dessert.
Reindeer.
Because after eating 3 pounds of crab meat,
I'd be down to eat a reindeer sausage, man. I love that's how much I love food, man. I'd be down to try anything. If I don't like the food, that's one thing about me. If I don't like the food, that means I ate it the first time, didn't like it. Give it a second try, because if I don't like it the first time, I always give it a second chance. But if after a second or third chance I can't, man, I just can't do it, man.
You need some ice cream to top it off. Richmond had 90 minutes to devour the meal fit for a camp of lumberjacks.
Dozens have tried and none have succeeded. None.
Great odds. Awesome. So psyched.
After spending 15 minutes cracking open the crab legs before getting a single bite, Richmond could have easily been doomed for defeat. But rather than go back to the lower 48 states with his head hanging in shame, Richmond pushed through to give the Kodiak Arrest its first win.
Hell
The
yeah.
saying things are bigger in Texas is true to ridiculous proportions at this Texas steakhouse. The Big Texan is no stranger to food shows and has appeared on the Great Food Truck Race and Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations. But when this
Rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain, man.
Man vs. Food episode premiered in 2008, Richmond was still a rookie in the food competition game. The 72-ounce steak is the final boss of food challenges, and competitors are only given an hour to eat it. If gnawing away at what probably seems like an entire cow wasn't daunting enough, Richmond also had to consume a salad, shrimp cocktail, baked potato, and dinner roll. On the plus side, the meal was free if he finished it all and didn't die. Woohoo!
This is crazy. This is crazy.
Somehow the food gods smiled upon Richmond that day, and he was able to finish not just the steak, but the full challenge without having a heart attack. And the icing on top? He did it all in under 30 minutes.
Woo! Yo, you know his mama used to love him when he was a child, yo. Dinner time? Oh, the guy eats in 5 minutes and he's already off to bed.
Seemed to be especially tough for Adam Richmond, and by the end of many an episode, he looked like he'd been put through the ringer. At the Ohio Deli, Richmond was given the task of eating a comically tall sandwich and pound of fries. In an interview with The Guardian, he discussed
Yo, what is that? Turkey, ham, and roast beef? Sheesh!
just how tough bread and potatoes can be. If you do a
That wouldn't bother me too much, but yo, looking at that bread, you know your stomach about to be just like Homer Simpson.
quantity challenge, the problem you'd face would be a starchy challenge. If it has a lot of potatoes, a lot of bread, or fried elements, that's difficult. While the Dagwood match was far from the biggest challenge, in fact, it was actually one of his easiest, it lands on our list because it was pivotal for the success of the show. In an interview with Bizarre Foods host Andrew Zimmern, Richmond said it was a real learning experience and helped him develop specific game plans for the challenges.
Here's my strategy. I'm going to break this into 4 mini sandwiches and put French fries right on the sandwich themselves.
If he hadn't stumbled upon a strategy and won this challenge early on, who knows? Man vs. Food could have been over and done with after a few episodes. The kitchen sink ice cream challenge was a ridiculous 2-pound dessert that was loaded up with 8 enormous scoops of ice cream, plus toppings and
Do you know the diabetes I would get if I ate that? Woo! Sheesh. Not only that, I would have had a sugar rush for the next 2 weeks. Backflips on backflips on backflips, man.
Whipped cream. It needed to be finished in an hour or less, and only 4 people had succeeded at the time of filming, so the odds were definitely not in Richmond's favor. Being able to pick the ice cream flavors had to be a plus, but a starchy strategy proved to be the real key to defeating this frozen giant. After hitting a sugar overload, Richmond seemed like he may have been down for the count.
In the words of William Shakespeare, this totally sucks.
But then he ordered fries to contrast the sweetness. As he pushed forward and drank the last drops of melted ice cream, he declared,
I'm a wrestle to the ground.
What is it with people eating fries and ice cream, man? I never understood it. I tried to eat it, I didn't like it, but people really love it. People who love ice creams and fries, how do you do that? How?
Ground like a demon cobra.
Some man versus food challenges become a thing of legend, and the kitchen sink is one of them.
Yo, that's crazy, man. Yo, the amount of food that people be eating, man. Oh, jeez. And I thought I ate a lot. Nothing compared to them. But I do believe, however, that some of these challenges I would have been able to do, but most of them, heck to the no. Yo, ever since I started working out and moving more and more and more, feels like my stomach has shrunk. But anyways, man, if you guys enjoyed all of this, make sure to do all that good stuff. I'm your boy K-Rym, and I am out of here.